Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. The Michigan State Spartans starting to get some traction on the 2024 recruiting trail. It was a slow start for Mel Tucker, but landing a commit from four-star running back Anthony Carrie. And then we're going to talk about some of the visitors they had on campus this weekend and potentially some traction that is coming for Michigan State. Now, before we get into it again, just want to say thank you to you guys, just all the support you guys have shown during recruiting season, during transfer portal season, and into summer scouting. It's been absolutely awesome. So if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And for Michigan State fans, we haven't been able to talk much Michigan State football in terms of recruiting, but we might have some more updates as the weeks go on because they've had a lot of talent on campus the last couple of weeks. Excited to get into it. Now, I want to talk about Anthony Carrie first because I really like this running back. Checked out his film this morning. The thing I like most is his ability to work through traffic between tackles. We're going to turn on the film, but in his high school, they run a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of two running backs in the backfield, and he's used to maneuvering and working in tight spaces, which is kind of rare for a lot of these top running backs who are more spacey guys. And Anthony Carrie shows tremendous ability to work through traffic. Contact balance is phenomenal, and then he does have that gas speed to hit the home run play as well. Let's get into Anthony Carrie. And again, four-star recruit, top 300 prospect according to 24/7 Sports, but depending on where you shop around your rankings, Rivals has him as a top 100 prospect, the 10th best running back in the country. And when you turn on the film, there's a lot to like about what Anthony Carrie brings to the table. Again, you're going to see a lot of 12 personnel. There's not a lot of space in this offense, and what you're going to see Anthony Carrie be able to do is really maneuver his way between the tackles and then know when to bounce it out. But he's not a bounce-happy running back, which I like to see out of the running backs of the high school ranks. Firing up the film kind of checks off a lot of the boxes you want in a college running back, especially going into this Michigan State offense. The ability to find your hole, hit it hard, and then when you get to the second level, make people miss, and then have the home run speed ability to hit the home run ball as well. This is a really big win for Mel Tucker in Michigan State on the trail. Again, slow start to the 2024 class, but it could pick up if they have a good official visit weekend this weekend. We'll talk about the players that are coming in. But again, what you're noticing the most is just that this offense doesn't provide a lot of space. And so what does Anthony Carrie need to do? He needs to pick his gaps and be aggressive with it and get downfield quickly. That's exactly what he does. And that again, it's rare for these top running backs who are so athletic. You're going to see a little bit more space now, but for the most part, this offense does not let Anthony Carrie work in space. He has to kind of create and pick his own space, and he does a really good job creating that. And again, knows where to find the lane. When it's time to bounce it out, he knows how to do that. And then he has a brutal stiff arm as well, which I absolutely love. I want to talk a little bit more Michigan State gets a really big win here with Anthony Carrie, beating out programs like Alabama and Oklahoma for a Florida kid, which is something that before Mel Tucker came to Michigan State was a little bit more of a rarity. Now, taking a look at this class, they haven't added Anthony Carrie in. He will be their top commit of the 2024 class. That'll be their sixth commitment, maybe push him into the top 65, maybe even top 60, depending how the numbers shake out. But again, a slow start for Michigan State, but you're starting to see a little bit of traction, right? Reggie Powers from Dayton, Ohio, coming on board about last week around this time. So Michigan State getting some momentum, but what you want to talk about more is who they're having on campus this weekend, right? David Stone being the most popular. I wouldn't count Michigan State out. David Stone is taking visits to everywhere. I know Oklahoma is considered the leader, but I really like that the biggest official visit weekend for Michigan State is happening during the last weekend for official visits before the dead period. So you really get that chance to make that lasting impression. Again, guy like David Stone has been to so many campuses the last couple months, and going into that dead period, Michigan State will be his last visit. And I'm not saying Michigan State's going to land him, but I think that puts him in a pretty good spot in terms of staying in David Stone's mind as he goes into the late summer and potentially making a decision. Another guy, Jamari Howard, making his way back up. Florida State are really pushing. He's from Miami Central. There's going to be the Florida schools are all over him. Michigan State still fighting for that commitment as well. Again, a top 100 dude nationally. DeAndre Carter is probably the most interesting name. I believe he canceled his USC official visit to make it out to Michigan State June 23rd and for this weekend. he's another just a mammoth, right? 6'4", 340 out of Mater Dei. USC wants him. Oregon wants him. A lot of those Pac-12 West Coast teams want him. I think it says a lot. It says a lot for all these top kids that they're choosing their last official visit weekend to be in East Lansing, visiting Mel Tucker and the Michigan State Spartans. And DeAndre Carter is a very interesting prospect to 10. You talk about, and we just took a look at this Michigan State team. A lot of veterans on the offensive line. I don't think the talent is necessarily there. DeAndre Carter, the talent is certainly there. Like, you cannot teach the frame that he has and the athleticism he has for his size. Now, another interesting story is Jason Brown, top 100 running back from the state of Washington, Seattle, Washington, Oregon, Washington. His only official visit this summer is going to be to Michigan State this weekend. And so that's a very interesting one to monitor. If you can get Anthony Carrie and Jason Brown into the fold, you're looking at one of the better running back groups in that 2024 class. And that's everyone remembers the Kenneth Walker days, in the sense that this Michigan State offense is thriving the most when it has a go-to running back in a very good run game. Now, I know some of that's on the offensive line in the development, but it also, like, Kenneth Walker was just a special running back that brought so much to the offense. And I think we all saw what that offense looked like when it didn't have that go-to running back. Jason Brown, Anthony Carrie, you can get those two guys in the fold. You're feeling really good about where this running back room sits in terms of the future. Now, a couple other guys I want to talk about, obviously Nick Marsh. I know Penn State's making a real push, but Nick Marsh making it back to East Lansing. He's obviously been on campus plenty, former commit. Michigan State looking to add to it. Again, you have how many names is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 top 100 kids coming in this weekend. And I mean, they only got 7 commits in the class, and 5 top 100 kids are coming this weekend. And then 2 other guys I want to talk about, Mercer Lewinsky and Charlton Lewinsky, 2 big dogs from the state of Ohio that I think could commit to Michigan State after this weekend. And this is a down from what I've read, and I'm not going to pretend like I've scouted every single offensive tackle in this class, but from what I've read from 24/7 scouts, from what I heard from Power 5 coaches, it's kind of a down year on the offensive tackle market. Getting 2 guys that have the frame to be all Big Ten kind of tackles, I think would be good. And getting twin brothers who could develop together, and you kind of got 2, I wouldn't call them lottery tickets, but 2 tickets where, I mean, these guys have frames that you can't really coach. You get them in there. If 1 or 2 of them hits and becomes kind of that starting tackle, starting interior offensive lineman, that could work out really well for Michigan State. But again, a slow start for Michigan State on the trail, but it does seem to be picking up. And I think there's an extent of, if this Michigan State team can kind of put it together on the field in 2023, and I'm not saying they're going to go 10-2 and kind of go back to that 2021 form, but go 6-6, maybe 7-5, make a bowl game. I think you could see the recruit pick up. That is what Mel Tucker's specialty is, right? You look back at the 2023 and 2022 class, Mel Tucker is elite at recruiting. And Michigan State hasn't really seen many top classes like Mel Tucker's brought in the last 2 years. That's kind of where Mel Tucker butters his bread a little bit. But that being said, in order to recruit, you got to win on Saturday. So if Michigan State can just kind of show that this ship is back heading in the right direction, I think that could make a pretty strong impact on some of the recruits that are making later decisions in this 2024 class. So keep an eye on that. We'll continue to update you guys on this Michigan State program. But Anthony Carrie coming to Michigan State, very, very big win for Mel Tucker and the Spartans. Wanted to keep it short for you guys. Appreciate you checking the fellas out. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.